Yo, I look so tired right now. When everybody else is getting ready to go start their day, get going, drinking their coffee and the Red Bulls and their monsters, and turning down for what? As Pastor Lil John would say. Your boy is over here about to turn down. Like, actually turn down. Going home. And go to sleep. Because my brain and my energy levels are the highest at their peak, creativity and work-wise. Like, being able to function and work and drive people around is highest at nighttime. From like 7 to 7 in the morning. Peak time for me. I'm nocturnal. I'm different than everybody else. And I've tried so many times to switch back to normal. And my body's like, nope, sorry, homeboy. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Anyway, so I was just thinking, man, this Rebu life is a very lonely existence. In good ways and bad ways. I'm not going to go that deep into it, but I was just thinking about, like, even just conversations with people, There's some people, it's almost like 40-60. 40% of my riders don't talk, about sometimes 50%. And I'm okay with that. There's sometimes where I'm not even in the mood to talk. Like, I'm glad when they put their headphones in, especially the ones that put the big old earmuff headphones on and they don't talk. And then other times, especially on like long rides and when I'm kind of tired, it is nice when the person actually does talk. And like, especially like those airport trips, it makes it go by quicker, I feel like. Makes the time go by quicker, and it is cool learning things about other people. And there's some people I have some great conversations with, and I learn a lot from them. Now, this is where it gets kind of lonely, because when there's certain people, when they get in the car and they don't talk, I can tell like they don't normally talk to black people already. Like, sometimes I ask myself the question, like, if I was white, would you talk to me right now? Anyway, it runs across my mind. Like, when people just get back there and they just have conversations amongst themselves. And I wish I could like do a follow-up interview with them. Like, I know you thought about saying something to your Rebu driver, but why didn't you? Do you think there was a hint of racism inside you at all? Or fear that this black man would attack you or something, or do something weird? I don't know. There's thoughts that come through my brain. And then the other part of me, the other riders that actually talk, sometimes it's all like surface level talk a lot of times. I mean, we do sometimes get in some deep conversations, but a lot of it is surface level. And in which, I mean, it's a Rebu drive, right? I mean, some people, they tell me some of the most intimate details of their lives and things going on in their lives, and struggles and challenges and relationship problems and divorces and all that, current boyfriend girlfriend situations. I think it's almost like they turn into therapy sessions, and it's like they think they'll never see me again. It's like, let me just share with whatever's on my mind right now. And sometimes they're a little bit, and that allows them to open up more. And it's weird, because sometimes they'll like give me their number, or they'll ask for my number, and I'm like, on one hand, it's like, oh, they're saying they're gonna follow up with me about something, and they don't. And I'm like, good. Like, I don't really have the capacity for like any more relationships in my life right now, outside of like my brother and my good friend Gabriel, and like my one platonic lady friend, which I'm actually considering like really scaling back that friendship from her. That's a whole nother conversation, because I have this theory, or I've talked to my one buddy Gabriel, that men and women can't really be platonic friends. Eventually, usually one person in the friendship likes the other person, and usually it's the guy that is into the woman, and she's just made it to where she's like clearly set a boundary, like, we're not going there. And the guy's just like holding out long enough to see if she'll eventually like he's just chiseling away, like in Shawshank Redemption. He's chiseling away at that concrete, hoping eventually, yeah, he's gonna escape to freedom, and chisel away at her heart. And she like, the wall comes down, and she'll like, all right, young man, you have now escaped the friend zone. You have chiseled away at the friend zone wall, and you are now in the potential husband or boyfriend role. You're just waiting for that right time. But anyway, all right, so let's talk about a few of these riders. Sometimes I want to just talk about random stuff that's on my brain in the moment, because that's part of being a Rebu driver. Like, I disassociate a lot. I have a lot of imagination, and I escape to pass the time, to be able to drive for 10 to 12 hours, There we go. So I had somebody named, these two lady named, Kaylin. That's the funny thing about when I get names like that. I never know if it's going to be a guy or a girl. But in this case, the way they spelled it, I'm not going to spell it, but I was like, oh yeah, that's probably a girl. And it ended up being two nice white ladies. They were quiet the whole ride. They had they had some pretty big suitcases. Then next was somebody named Khalil. Yeah, I took them to the airport. It was this big old black dude. He was quiet the whole ride. He had like this black hard hat. I thought about making conversation. When somebody gets in my car, only things I usually say is like, hey, how you doing today? And then I confirm the address of where we're going. And that's it. Then I shut up. And usually 9 times out of 10, I don't say anything else unless they start talking. And they're like, oh, this is a talker. Let me start talking and engage in conversation. Or sometimes I can tell that this person is actually a talker and they want to talk, but they're waiting to see if I'm going to like engage the conversation, because they're playing that mental chess match that I do too. They have a high emotional intelligence, and they see what's going on here. And so and I pick up on that. I pick up on body language and all that. And so I'll start talking. I'll spark a conversation like, hey, so where are you headed to today? Or you guys celebrating anything special? Or, so I'll make a comment about what they're wearing, like if they have a KU shirt or something, I don't know. Or if I can tell they're visiting from out of town, blah, blah, blah. All right, next I had some dude named Casey. He was quiet, he had a mustache, he was bald, didn't say anything. I had a lot of back-to-back quiet people. Yeah, Kaylin, because I had a ride before that, but they canceled. But Kaylin, Khalil, and Casey were all quiet. Then I had somebody named Lillian. She was quiet. I've had her before. She was a Hispanic woman. And then the last rider, she was quiet too. All 5 of them riders that I just had, they were all quiet. Every single one of them. I mean, it was early in the morning, so people tend to be a little bit more quiet in the morning. She was cool though. She had these big old earmuffs, and there's more that I could say about her, but I will refrain. And I took her to Amazon for work. So her name was Mocha.